We're gonna make a festive decoration for the back of the bride and groom's chairs. And what we're gonna do is make pom-poms. And so I have here a pom-pom maker, and I'm gonna show you how that works. It's a little plastic device that pulls apart like this and goes easily back together. And it has one set of arches on one side and another set of arches on the opposite side. So to begin making the pom-pom, you're gonna pull one set of arches out. I like to hold it right at the center here to keep those arches together. And with a piece of yarn, hold the end under your finger and just start to wrap. And you're just gonna wrap all the way around the arch, overlapping. And you basically are going to just keep wrapping this until this whole arch is completely covered. I like to add a lot of yarn so that I have a really full pom-pom. So I'm almost done here. You can see that I've covered the arch and put as much yarn as I possibly could on there. When I have that all covered, I'm just gonna take a pair of scissors and snip it off. And so that this does not unravel, I'm gonna close those arches into the maker. For the second half of the pom-pom, you just open your next set of arches, do the same thing like we just did, hold the piece of yarn to keep those arches together and wrap around. And you're just gonna wrap to the same amount that you did the first time. Covering it. You can also kind of hold it like this and see, look at your opposite side to see how much you wrapped it so that you can kind of get a gauge of how much more you have to go, just so that the pom-pom is even on both sides. Wrap. It's looking pretty even. So once that's completely covered and looks just about even, we're gonna end it on the top, take the scissors, snip it, and close those arches. So now that my pom-pom maker is completely covered with yarn, I'm gonna start cutting it. And this is the really fun part. I'm gonna start with one side, and in between my arches, I'm gonna take my scissor and just snip. You want nice sharp scissors so that you can get through all those layers of yarn, which sometimes can be pretty thick. So look into the arch and make sure you got every last piece. Keep that in place. Take a length of yarn. We're gonna insert that and wrap around in between those arches and pull it tight so that it's going into the center of those arches. Then we're gonna flip the pom-pom maker around and start cutting this side. So I'm just gonna hold this together, continue to cut right in the middle of those arches. And there's basically a guide here because the device comes apart so you can see where the center is. Nice sharp scissors, cut through all those layers. Make sure to get every last thread. I think I got them. And then the length of yarn that I pulled through on the other side, I'm gonna pull up and around to come up to this arch. So basically, I am holding my pom-pom together by a big loop in the center. And to really secure it, we're just gonna take the end here and tie it in a knot really tight. And I like to do a double knot to secure it on one side. And if your yarn is a little, is like a delicate yarn and could break easily when you pull it, it's nice to even maybe wrap the inside with a wax twine so that you can really get a tight knot in there. So for extra security, I always like to do one extra knot. So when it's nice and tight, you can open up your pom-pom maker by lifting the arches on one side, flip it over, lift the arches on the other side, and then you're going to pull it apart, and then you're left with a pom-pom that needs a major haircut. Before I start trimming, you want to make sure that you know what thread was the thread that you tied around the pom-pom, and that's that long length of thread right here that keeps it all together. And you want to leave that untrimmed because that's going to be the way you can hang your pom-poms to make a decoration. So I like to fluff my pom-pom a little bit, and you can see it kind of has like a mohawk. I'm cutting off the mohawk, unfortunately. No more mohawk, because I want a nice round ball. So you just move your pom-pom around, trimming off those lengths, wiping off the fuzz, making sure it's looking good. And when you've trimmed it all nice and perfect, it should look something like this. A nice, perfect shaped pom-pom. So now I can take this pom-pom and add it to a bunch of other pom-poms that I've created in all different shapes and sizes and have hung at all different lengths. And this will be tied to the back of the bride's chair with a beautiful glittery sign that says bride to identify her chair.